What's up guys, it's Coach, and today we're going to be printing and painting feudal Japanese buildings. Alright, so I know a few of you have been watching the channel. We've been playing Test of Honor, and we've been using this terrain here, which is, I think it's from Sarissa, and it's not bad. It's the plastic art stuff painted up and serves its purpose, but I think it's time to upgrade a little bit. So there are things that I've printed before, like the wells, the rice storage house, the lanterns, things like this, and I wanted to kind of go to the next level with it. So what I'd like to do is show you what I did to upgrade this part of the table. Okay, so here's the Asian Adventures Kickstarter. This was where I got the houses and the files from the houses, so I backed it, and a lot of great stuff in this, so I'm really happy that I backed it. I'm glad that I did, because as you'll see, a lot of stuff I printed up is from this for the Feudal Japan table or the Test of Honor table. Okay, so here is the house in Cura, and I love it because it's nice and sturdy, good print. It's going to take about 14 hours, 56 minutes. I think this one actually took me about 14 hours, maybe a little less. Nice thing about it is there are no supports, nothing generated, no tree supports, nothing like that. The infill is there, and I don't even have to put a skirt or anything on it because it's stuck to the bed really well. So there it is. So far so good. As with the other ones, I am using the Chet Fast and Rough. It seems to really work for me. I really do like that setting because there's really not much for me to do. But yeah, there it is. And so let's take a look at the roof. Alright, so here is the roof, and it is 12 hours 23 minutes. I figure about 11 and a half hours, maybe close to 12 hours. Alright, now here's the beautiful thing. I have no supports. So as I print it, I'm going to have no supports to worry about to pull off tree supports or whatever, and that really helps to really push along the time. Also, if you notice in here, it's hollow. So not wasting all that filament, all that time for that stuff to print up. Wasteful of the filament, you know, the more filament you can save, the better. I know it's a cheap process as it is, but you don't want to waste the filament. So I love the fact that I could print these without it. So these are the two houses. The other two that I'm going to show you are about the same amount of time, you know, a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the size, obviously. But they're around 12 hours here, 14 hours there. So you're going to be printing for a while. All right, so let's take a look at them, and I'll show you how they look all printed up. All right, so I decided to print up 3 houses. The first house is the one I showed you in Cura. The second one's a little bit bigger. It has an awning with a porch on it, and then the third one is actually a water mill. But what I decided to do is, instead of putting on the water wheel, I decided to just leave it as it is because I like the way it looks as it is. I might come back later on and do it as a water wheel, but for now, we're just going to keep it as a regular house. So let's take a look at how they came out. Okay, so here's the first house, done. Okay, print went well. A little bit on the bottom here, but I could care less about that. So we take the roof off, and I got a little fraying on the inside, but all in all, really, really nice print. And here we go here. Okay, doorway here. And what I like is the inside. So these were the ones I got originally. I think these are Sarissa, I'm not sure. But like this will fit in here. Now, when you look at them, they're pretty comparable. But what I like is that I can fit a few guys in here. So, as you can see, Samurai will fit in there. And it's just a little bit more detail. So, nothing wrong with these. There's nothing wrong with these. These I bought. But I think printing-wise, these are really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few coats of, I got some brown spray paint, and I have some light brown spray paint. We're going to do that, and then we're going to work on the roof together. So, all right, so here it is fully printed. The Samurai's there just for scale. So let's take this top off first, and as you can see, nice details. I did hit it with a black base coat. So I really do like this. I love the fact that these guys, I can fit 2, 3, or 4 of them in there. Now with the new Test of Honor rules, it's going to come in handy. The roof, really nice detail on this. I got to tell you, I'm very happy that I backed this Kickstarter. Now the only thing is this one, something over here. There's a little space here, but all in all fits. I'm going to try to maybe magnetize it, because what happens is there's these 2 little, you can see here, pegs that fit into these 2 holes here, but they don't always line up so good. So I'm going to hit it with some brown, and we're going to come back and do the details. So the next thing you'll see is base coat's done. Alright, so here is the mill, but like I said, I'm going to keep it as a regular house. Now here's the first print, which was really good. I keep getting these little bit of missing part here, but like I said, it's underneath. It doesn't matter. The points that matter are good. Now it's weird because it has the 2 peg system that goes in here, and once it's in, it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't move. All right. So like I said, okay, they fit pretty good in there, and I really do like this. Now, here is the part where the windmill would, the water wheel would go, but I'm going to leave it as just a regular. I really like the way it's up here and stuff. And once you put this on, it's pretty snug. I like this little awning here, and you can fit right through here. When you look through it, it actually looks kind of like a barn. I hope you could see that. It looks like a barn in there or something, or maybe a Japanese building. All right. So I'm going to hit it with some spray paint brown. I know that these are different. The roof is different. I'm not sure. I guess those are their feudal skylights. But we're going to get that going, and we're going to paint this a little different to match some rocks. So let's go to the paint. So the 2 cans of paint that I used to paint the houses are, I start off with this espresso, it's Rust-Oleum, and then I used the nutmeg on the roof. Alright, so here is the whole one of the houses, the whole thing right here. And so here you can see this is the nutmeg, and inside what I did was I did a coat of the darker espresso first. Right, so this is just full espresso, and then right here I did that here and here, and then I went over with the nutmeg, and then what I did was I went back and I put some tape on it, and then just kind of cleaned up what needed to be cleaned up. So far so good. I really like the way this the whole thing came out. So now what I want to do is I want to go fill in some of this, do a little bit of dry brushing here, fill in the panels, and just get to work on it. So it's going to be really easy because, like I said, I want to do quick and easy. I want to get this on the table quick and fast because it's time to play some games. So let's get to the paint. Okay, so to do the project, I have these paints that I've had for a long time, and this is Crema Coat by Delta. It's flesh pink. But the thing is, it's really not a pink, it's a tan. And it works good because what I want to do is every place that I'm going to put this, essentially I'm going to wash it. So I'm going to start off with the panels. Okay, so with that done, the flesh paint is done. Just these little, maybe this is the skylight, and this is, maybe the window, the shade of the window. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to do the whole thing with the same thing, but we're going to dry brush it, and it gives it a nice little just a little bit, because this is a little bit too plain. So we're going to add some more detail to it, some more depth. Alright, so this is dried, and here also the dry brushing is done. The inside should be worn because that's where they're going to walk and stuff, and just like a worn looking wood grain there. And I tell you what, it's crazy that this is actually a pink flesh wash. I guess over time it became a tan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wash all those pieces, and with that I'm going to use, I made this is my own concoction. It's kind of like an Agrex Earthshade with ink and distilled water and whatnot. I mean, if you're interested, I could do a video on that. You could put that below, but there's billions of them out there. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to wash. Here I'm applying the wash. I'm going to put it all over everything, even onto the skylight. And there it is, almost done, still wet, but you get the idea. Just spread it around, get it in all the nooks and crannies. If there's too much of a pool, just clean it up, spread it around, make sure it's even. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use brown ink. This is burnt umber, straight from the pot. I'm putting it into the airbrush, and if you can see all the highlighted boards that I did with the dry brushing, it's a little too light, too bright. So what I do is I use the brown ink, and it'll take it down, make it look like worn wood. It really gives it a nice effect. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I noticed that when I was editing, but I'll try to make a better setup next time I do something like this. There you can see it a little better. You see the ink just gives it a real richness. And here what I'm doing is I just went over with the on the skylights, and what I do is I rubbed it off, and it kind of moved in a little bit and gave it that worn rattan look that I was looking for. Also, I just kind of cleaning up, seeing little areas that I wanted to put a little bit more ink on to make it a little darker. Alright, so they're all done, and here they are. The three buildings that we went through. I think it really adds to the table. The details are there, all the washes, the ink washes really, I think, helped out a lot. And you know, it's looking pretty good. Alright, and like you know, as I showed you before, they all have interiors where we could put models in there, and the same thing. Oh, see. Alright, so I've added the other terrain that we have, and it works good with both of them. Just these are a little bigger. Also, these you can go inside. So I just like the way it looks. These look like more like their houses or the living domiciles. These would be maybe storage sheds, or maybe even lowlier peasants that live in there. But I just think it brings more attention to the table. I really do like the way it came out. I'm loving the way these came out. I might go back and do some techniques on those just to spruce them up a little bit. Alright, so thanks for watching this video. It was a blast to do this project. I'm going to be doing a lot more of this stuff. If this is your first time here, why don't you consider subscribing. We've got a lot of other great videos on the channel. Also, we have a Patreon that helps us buy files and buy filament to print this kind of stuff. We also have a Discord server. That's where we get to talk to you guys. So like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you could spread this around a little bit, leave a comment below, because that does help us with the YouTubes and it gets the word out there. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.